Have you ever seen a father that will lay his son's life or will lay his daughter's life for another person? Have you ever seen parents that will use their children as a sacrificial lamb to another person entirely? Why these parents and this person are just friends? You that you're watching me, can you lay your cousin as a living sacrifice for another person? Because that is the level and that is what the orange man is doing. That is what the orange man is doing. And what is not clicking is the fact that this man don't have remorse. He don't feel anything. His own is, I want to support my friend and there's nothing anybody can do. I'm happy for MAGAs. I'm happy for MAGAs that their own people are also in the military, they're in the police forces and the rest of that. I'm happy for them. But for the innocent one that never voted for this, that never supported this, those are the people I feel for. Because let it make sense that this man literally said, it is what it is. It is what it takes that even if we lose and we are even going to be losing more lives, it is what it is. But all we need to do is we must help the Iranians and we must conquer this battle. Oh, Black Americans. Welcome to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches that we have in our today's episode. For disclaimers, this is just for educational purposes. Guys, let's go watch. I'll be back with commentaries. And let me know your honest opinion in the comment section. Let's go.
Not make this statement lightly. The Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future. And it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach.
First off, you guys make sure you like this video, comment on this video, share this video, make sure you drop me a follow. Let's start off with the beginning part of it, you guys. Donald Trump has indicated that United States service members will, in fact, more than likely end up dying in this conflict with Iran. Let me know your thoughts over in the comments, because that is your mother, that is your father, that is your brother, that is your sister, that's your aunt, your uncle, that is your best friend, that's your neighbor, that is someone you personally know in your life. If they are a United States service member, there is a potential chance that you will not see them after the United States is done doing what they are doing, if they are currently over there in that situation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But the other statement, Donald Trump truly told the Iranian people, as soon as they are done dropping the bombs over the next few days, next few weeks, however long this takes, to literally overthrow the government and take control completely. So no president in the United States has ever made a statement that bold in the history of the United States, plain and simple. If someone ever has, please let me know in the comments, because I truly can't think of anyone that has ever said something like that. And don't get it twisted, you guys. Yes, the leadership over there is horrible. Absolutely horrible. What is currently going on with the civilians and everything, they need peace and prosperity, plain and simple. But for a president to literally say, hey, as soon as we are done dropping the bombs, take control of everything, that opens up a whole new can of worms when it comes down to leaving a country in complete disarray. Like, usually, like, even with what ended up taking place when the United States ended up doing those regime changes over in the Middle East with like Saddam Hussein and everything, that literally ended up causing so much disruption to the region for decades. They still haven't recovered. So for them to do something or say something like this and put out that statement, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
As a parent that voted for Trump and your son is in the military over there in Iran right now, and he's about to get blown to smithereens, or they might be one of the troops that are getting sent back home, how do you feel? Are you going to be on the news crying with them boo-hoo tears because they decided, hey, we're going to send your son to Allah? Like, don't you get up here crying with that shit. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. America ain't trying to hear that shit. You can say it's insensitive, but you know what's even more insensitive? Yo, vote for Trump. They'll celebrate and rejoice that child's death.
We know that Donald Trump's numbers are plummeting. We know that he's not doing well. But I don't want to just show you like another poll. I want to show you something more interesting, which is evidence that some of the people who'd previously supported him are apparently getting a little bit embarrassed about it, because a certain percentage of them are now lying and saying that they didn't, in fact, vote for him. And the way that we found this out is Verisight and The Argument. These are pollsters. They conducted surveys of Donald Trump voters between August 2025 and February 2026. They had a lot of them, over 12,000. These same voters had been polled immediately after the 2024 election about who they voted for. So this is not like self-reporting, like I'm asking you who you voted for a year ago and just letting you, like they did say it right after the election, and now they're being contacted again. And the two polls show that about 6% now deny ever having voted for Trump, despite previously having said they did it back in 2024. Among those voters, 2.7% now say, no, actually, I voted for Harris. 3.3% can't quite bring themselves to say that. They're just like, no, I didn't vote for any of them. I guess I don't know, they voted for Bernie or so. I don't know. They voted for Roger Rabbit. But anyway, we have a little bit more data. About 15% of Trump's voters back in 2024 reported disapproving of his job performance, which is not nearly high enough, Jesus. But among those disapproving voters, 12.5% claimed they voted for Harris, while 11.8% said they didn't vote for either candidate. By contrast, those who approve of him, only 0.9% say that they voted for Harris. So it's not like there's a certain percentage that are just misremembering it. It is based on them not approving of what he's doing right now. And so, that's not like a super high percentage or anything. I would like to see it be higher, but I've been wanting some of them to maybe be a little bit embarrassed by what they did, and 6% I say is a start. What do you think?
It's early, John. I promise you. It's almost like if you talk to people of a certain age, they'll tell you like every freaking boomer they've ever met is like, I was at Woodstock, and it's like, we know that it's not mathematically possible that every single boomer that ever existed was at Woodstock. This is the reverse of that. In 20 years, nobody's going to admit to the idea that they voted for this filth and this trash and this what's basically a pockmark on our country's history. I promise you, it's very early on, John. The 6% is high, honestly. Yeah. And I think as time goes on, more and more, it's going to be the reverse Woodstock effect. More and more people will be like, no, I wasn't there.
I didn't
vote for that. Promise
I love
you
that. You know, the funny thing is, at least like Woodstock, you can see the photos and like those crowds are big. When people someday are like, no, I wasn't part of it, they're going to show that like first inauguration photo and everybody's be like, oh yeah, I guess nobody did show up. Maybe there weren't any voters. Like,
right. Exactly.
yeah. Well, I hope, look, I care about truth and honesty. So on some level, somebody lying about who they voted for bothers me. But I will say you can have my approval to lie about it if you just start vigorously opposing Donald Trump now. Okay. If you join on with us.
I just want to say that if you voted for Trump, this is all your fault. 100%. All your fault. You didn't have to vote for the orange clown. The fact that we're going to war with Iran now and they just closed the Strait of Hormuz, which 20 to 30% of all the oil in the world travels through, you can believe that gas prices, as well as the price of everything else, is about to skyrocket. And if you voted for Trump, this is your fault. This could have all been avoided. But you voted for a guy who his name appears more in the Epstein files than everybody else's name combined. You voted for a guy who is so in the pocket of isn't real that when Bibi Netanyahu says jump, Trump doesn't even wait to say how high. He just jumps and hopes it's high enough. And you voted for this. So when your children get sent off to go fight in this war, just remember, you voted for this. And if they come back in a body bag, you voted for that too. The idea that you were voted just because I did I don't care. I don't think anybody cares. If you voted for Donald Trump, this shit's all your fault.
Donald Trump's declaration of war this morning against Iran is not only foolhardy, hypocritical, and disturbing, it represents the beginning of the end for the MAGA movement in America. Let me explain why I think that is and why there is such an opportunity for Democrats to seize on this moment. Now look, to be clear, many people and political prognosticators have declared the MAGA movement dead over a number of years. But the reason why I say this today, the reason why I say it is beginning of the end for the MAGA movement, is that today's actions that Donald Trump took in declaring war against Iran represent everything that the MAGA movement is supposedly against. The reality is that Donald Trump ran and has run on being anti-war. As you recall in the 2024 campaign, a large part of the closing message from Trump and Vance and Stephen Miller was that Kamala was going to get us into war with Iran and Trump was going to stop it. He was, quote unquote, the pro-peace president. Even in his current administration, Trump has claimed that he's pro-peace, that he's stopped all of these wars. He has given himself Nobel Peace Prizes for stopping war and even the inaugural FIFA Peace Prize. None of these are real, to be clear, and he has been the opposite of the peace president, but that is what Donald Trump wants you to believe. That is what his supporters want you to believe. But today was different. Today was something new. Trump today even going so far in saying that Americans may die because of the actions that we are taking in Iran. The people who have been true MAGA acolytes, and when I say pro-MAGA, I mean not pro-Trump always, but pro-MAGA and the ideology that it purports to represent, are very anti what Trump did today. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and someone like Matt Walsh are all saying that this was a massive mistake. When I say it's the beginning of the end for MAGA, it's not the end of the Trump regime or Trump influencing people. That's not true. Over the next 3 years and beyond, we are going to see this tremendous fracture within the Republican Party of people like a Tucker Carlson, like maybe even a Nick Fuentes, like a Marjorie Taylor Greene, who believe in the original principles of MAGA, at least as it relates to this anti-interventionist policy. On the other side of that fracture, we are going to see the Marco Rubios, the Donald Trumps of the world, who are pro-war and pro-intervention and anti-peace. Now, of course, I think both sides are horrible and suck and their ideas are really ruinous to this country, but this provides an opportunity for Democrats to take a very clear stance here. Not every Democrat is going to agree, but by and large, in my opinion, we ought to be the party of no war, of peace. And if Democrats can do that while Republicans are fractured over the issue of MAGA versus Trump, we'll be in a much better position. But for now, it's the beginning of the end for MAGA.
Donald Trump has said we are going to war with Iran. He also said some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. So this comes after he pulled out of Obama's nuclear deal, Iranian nuclear deal, which did limit how Iran would build their nuclear programs. Trump said it was too weak and it needs to be stronger. So he just pulled out of that deal. And after he pulled out, Iran said, okay, well, we're just going to go back to what we were doing and we're going to start doing our stuff uranium. And the United States, after pulling out of that deal, tried to do fear mongering and scare tactics and aggression towards Iran, and it didn't work. So now we are going to war with Iran. But here's what's crazy. Iran said that if the United States starts dropping bombs on them, their hackers will tap into our credit card systems and wipe out everyone's debt and give everybody an 800 credit score. I don't think anyone should be hacking a foreign country. That's wrong. But just hear me out on.
We are going to war, and some of your children may die. Your husbands, your wives, other family members, some of them may die, and that is a sacrifice that I am willing to make. You said you would be a peaceful president and we wouldn't have any more wars under your regime. You're right, that's what I said. But, you know, people say shit all the time, and I'm no different. So I know what I said, but that ain't what's happening. So what you gonna do about it? It was reported that one of the strikes hit a school and they killed over 50 children. Like, let me ask you something. You think I give a damn about them kids? Me? Like, ask yourself, do you think I care about what happened to them kids? Especially them kids over there. I don't care about what happened to our kids. I damn sure don't care about what happened to them kids. I know I said I was gonna be the peaceful president, and you know, I sort of meant it, but when it's a lot of stuff floating around the internet about me and what I used to do and who I used to hang out with, I'll just tell y'all like this, it wouldn't be happening if y'all just minded y'all business. Y'all was peeking into my private affairs. This is on y'all. Y'all don't know how to keep y'all noses out of people's business, okay? So say goodbye to your loved ones, kiss your family members, because I'm sending their ass to war, they're gonna die, okay? Make sure you make the best of these moments. Hail Israel.
This is Israel's last chance to drag America into a war to do their dirty bidding against Iran, because they've lost the quote-unquote support or the good person image with the next generation. The boomers are the last ones they have who are currently still clinging on to the last remnants of power before they hit that dirt. And this is their last chance to, because the younger generation do not fuck with them. It's been reported by Politico that two top Trump senior officials have stated that we're not attacking Iran straightforward or making the first strike, because that would be horrible politics. And the politics behind a war in Iran would do better if Israel was to attack them first and we come later in the defense of it. And it's also been reported that Israel is like, well, no, America need to do it first. So basically everybody pump faking right now to see who's going to do it first. And then you have J.D. Vance, last night talking about, you know, they received reports that Iran is building nuclear weapons. This George Bush 2.0, weapons of mass destruction, right? But y'all already used that tactic before. And we're the generation that grew up with that and actually had to go out there and fight that shit because of that. And knowing that none of that was true, right? All these years later. And y'all trying to do this again, like, y'all got to come up with a different playbook, big dog. Now, while all of this is going on, who's in the fucking background? China. Fucking China. We are really losing to them. I just want y'all to know that. We're really losing to them. You see this picture right here? Yeah. So that's a satellite image of all 11 of our F-22 Raptors. $67 billion each laying on an Israeli airstrip. Satellite image by China with Mandarin on each one, distributed on a website called Weibo, right? But they've also given Iran, they're giving intelligence to Iran this entire time. They've given Iran intelligence on where our ships are located, our warships are located, all of them that have left Bahrain, the location of all of our F-22 Raptors, planes that are designed to be invisible. And China is giving them all. Also, not to mention, they've sold Iran ammunitions, and they've also given Iran those. Iran also has supersonic missiles and anti-ship missiles. They have supplied them, right? You know, the same way we supplied Ukraine against Russia. They've also given Iran, and they've also have intelligence stating what will happen and they're trying to gauge how much munitions we will use in order to deal with Iran or go against Iran. Because every missile and every asset we use in Iran is one we can't use against China when they go take Taiwan, which they said they wanted to accomplish before the end of 2027. And in their war game plans, they've stated, and is also reported by Fox News, that we would deplete key munitions within the first week of going against Taiwan or going to aid Taiwan. America and the Pentagon's own war games show our deficiencies in key long-range missiles defense and things like that. So all those JDAMs and Tomahawks we would use in Iran would be depleted in, against if we were to try to stop them taking Taiwan. And some of our key assets right now are current. Like, I don't believe anybody's really watching them. I think all of our firepower right now is in the Middle East. I don't think we got much over there on the Pacific front right now. But yeah, they want Israel to strike first because Iran has already stated that if they get struck, they're gonna retaliate, and America can use it as an excuse. They're basically using American men and women, our soldiers, our Marines, our sailors as bait in order to justify going into Iran, because they can't do it any other fucking way. Because Iran stated if they are attacked, they will retaliate. So you are using American soldiers, American service members as bait. As bait. Because you would be able to, put it all on fucking Fox News and shit because they own all the goddamn media platforms that, oh, America went to war because Iran struck an American base. The headline on Fox News is going to be what? Oh, 50 soldiers' lives lost from Iran's strike on such and such base. So essentially what this tells me is that we're willing to commit to the Middle East to serve, you know what I'm saying? You know who now, old Benny Ben over there and his motives, instead of preparing against a real formidable enemy, which is China. And that's all that tells me. That's all that tells me. It's low-key saying we some bitches. And just like with private equity, they would rather run shit into the ground than to actually fix things the right way. Fix things the right way in this country. But they won't, because the profit shares, the shareholders, instead of fixing this country to compete against China legitimately, you know what I'm saying? They'll rather run this shit into the ground, because this is a last-ditch effort of a falling empire.
How powerful are the Epstein files and the compromat on Donald Trump that he can be blackmailed into turning from a no new wars president into a many new wars president? The United States and Israel have bombed Iran. The Ministry of Intelligence, the Ministry of Defense, Khamenei himself, the Atomic Energy Agency and the Prime Minister's office already supposedly targeted in broad daylight. It shows that the perceptions in Washington and Tel Aviv are that Iran poses no deterrence. It has no deterrent, despite it threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz and bomb U.S. bases in the region. We're, of course, all waiting for any retaliation, but clearly this demonstrates the unity between those hawks in Washington who have persuaded Trump to even go on television or his Truth Social explaining that Americans will die, possibly, as he says he will annihilate the Iranian Navy and parts of the Iranian armed forces, as he calls for a coup. The first thing to note is that the Global South and the BRICS movement, they have demonstrated time and time again failure in the face of American violence. From Venezuela, where the leader, Maduro, and his First Lady, Celia Flores, could just be kidnapped. From Beirut, where Hezbollah said it will fight the Israeli enemy and was all but destroyed. It's clear now that people underestimate in the Global South the intentions of the United States, despite all the rhetoric. The fact that broad daylight could be the scene of these attacks from the United States and Israel shows just how forces of neocolonialism, imperialism, and neoconservatism, how powerful those forces are. The UAE condemned the American ambassador in Israel, Mike Huckabee, for his designs, messianic designs, not only on all of Palestine, but on parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq as well, let alone Jordan and the entire West Bank, the destruction of huge swathes of the Arab world. What will now happen will be the bluff has been called and the response will be judged. If there is no retaliation, the United States will feel, those elements of power in the United States will feel unbeatable. As for the Christian Zionists and those more messianic settler class within Israel, they will feel they don't care about any possible end of times and end of the world.
We have some urgent news. Iran is now saying that they will teach the United States and Israel a lesson they have never received before after Donald Trump bombed them in the middle of the night. According to the New York Times, an Iranian spokesperson said, quote, "We will teach Israel and America a lesson they have never experienced in their history," adding, "Any base that helps America and Israel will be the target of the Iranian armed forces." We also do know from Iran's semi-official Fars news agency that they are actively targeting American bases in Qatar, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, and more. Now, most of Iran's retaliatory missiles have been intercepted, and so far there are no reported U.S. casualties, which is great news. But earlier, Donald Trump did say, when announcing this war, quote, "The lives of American heroes may be lost and we may have casualties. That often happens in war," which is a crazy thing for a president to say after launching a war that nobody wants in the middle of the night. Number one thing on my mind right now is America's service members around the world. I really, really hope that nothing happens to them and that they're safe and that there's no casualties now. There are no casualties in the future. They are heroes and they do not deserve this. But I will keep you updated on anything major that happens here.
Iranian here, with a message for every single American who voted for President Trump. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. God bless President Trump. God bless the U.S. military. And God bless America. We can't wait until Iran is free and we can welcome you back to our country with open arms and be the allies that we used to be before the Islamic regime took over our country in 1979. That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much, and God bless America.
As you may or may not have heard, we are currently bombing Iran. So, I had to dig this up, but you remember what Trump said about a president who would bomb Iran? Here, let me refresh your memory.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
So he was talking about President Obama back then, but here's a tweet, or rather an X, or whatever you want to call it, from none other than Stephen Miller talking about Kamala Harris in this past election. So let's take a look at that. Oh, yes, Stephen Miller. You mean kind of like this that's going on right now? And so Trump gave this speech about the current situation in Iran. This is a little section from his speech. And yeah.
Seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future. And it is a noble mission.
So that speech kind of reminded me of something. Here, take a look at this and tell me if it sounds familiar.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Father David here. This is for those of you still supporting Trump and MAGA. You voted for him to bring down prices, but prices are about where they were when he took office. You voted for him to keep us out of foreign entanglements, and yet we are now on our third set of military or quasi-military incursions, first into Venezuela, now a blockade of Cuba, and now active war in Iran. He excuses dictators like Putin while demonizing and alienating our allies. You voted for him to enhance our standing in the world, and we are the laughingstock of the world. What has he done in terms of what you expected? He has done the opposite, which is exactly what he always does. It's really time to wake up, friends. This man only knows about destruction and debt and demolition and lies. Those are his fortes. How much longer will you stay on this train that's heading for a cliff? God bless us all.
Jesus Christ. I'm short of words. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. That a battle that is not your battle, a battle that is not in your position. He made a particular statement. He said, for decades, you people have been asking for our help, and no president is willing to help. Right now, you have the president that is willing to help. Stay in your homes because boom, we'll be dropping. And once we are done, be rest assured that you are going to be taking over your government. Then he made another statement, and he said, and I quote, lives of Americans are definitely going to be going down. The police, the military, blah, blah, blah. Come lay your weapon or you face the This man literally did not care what happened to anybody out there. His own is let his name be praised. That yes, let it be heard that without him, the nuclear that the Iranians were planning or that they have done wouldn't have been out of the vision. That without him, the Iranians wouldn't have been able to take over their government. That without him, nobody was willing. Recall that this man was literally accusing Kamala Harris that this was what she was going to do. She was trying to implement the World War III, blah, blah, blah. That right now, he is the peacemaker. And everybody cheer, everybody are happy. This man started, and within a twist, he changed, especially when we start having the histories of the Epstein files. He started making sure that his proximity to this Israel president is like this. Imagine a father and a mother decided to lay their own children's life as a living sacrifice. That is exactly what this man is doing. Now he has a family that he can protect. He has a family that are not in the military. But those ones that their own families are in the military, yes, they should go lay down their life for another country. They should go do what they need to do. It is not clicking. They should go support. Even when they know clearly that this is actually not our battle. We are not fighting these people. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And for disclaimers, this is just for educational purpose. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. And be safe out there. Thank you so much for staying stick and hook with me to the end of this video. With no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be Simba, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.